Ian, thanks for joining us. As always, it's post-match time. 90 minutes plus penalties have come and gone. What was the key moments for yourself?
Yeah, again, another tough game, another hard afternoon, which we completely expected against a decent Hamilton side who, like us, have aspirations of having a successful season. I think first half, they looked like the team that were going to be more successful than us, that's for sure. We were really poor. We had a 10-15 minute spell where we were okay, no better than that, and then after that I thought we were really poor. We stood off players, we went into our shell a little bit, we looked a little bit powder puff, and a first half performance that, if I'm being honest, I can't label at the players too many times. It's happened in the last 2 and a bit years. We just looked lacklustre. We looked a wee bit timid. We didn't want to tackle. We didn't want to have any contact with the opposition, and we just looked a wee bit lost out there in the first half, which was really frustrating for myself. No doubt the supporters as well. Second half, we lose a poor goal again. Obviously McGinty's got a huge height advantage, but we have to go and compete. We have to stay with your man in the box. It's really important. And then we react really well. We come to life. Once it's maybe a wee bit too late, we get a really fortuitous goal. We have to recognise that. Really fortunate to get that one. And then we play okay. We start linking up a little bit better. We start putting tackles in. We start getting the ball back much higher. So the reaction was really good, but it took us a while to get going.
Do you feel you've learned anything more about your team today, or is it a sense of where the strengths are, where there's work to be done?
Yeah, you always learn about your team in good, bad or indifferent, not just scorelines but performances. We've had games the last season and the season before where we haven't played particularly well, but our endeavour, our hunger and desire and attitude has got us through and made it really competitive. If we play like we did in the first half in particular, then we're going to get beat in games. It's that simple. We're playing against good physical sides who will be competitive. We got a bit of life with the subs as well. I thought they came on and gave us a spark, and sometimes if you're a substitute, it's easier to come on in those circumstances because we'd been fairly poor and you could only really get better from there. But I was really delighted with the impact that they had. Callum Smith, Lewis Gibson and Aidan Conley, and we peppered them. But we need a bit more. We need to be a bit more desire, especially in front of goal. We need to try and find a way of scoring goals when your back's against the wall a little bit. We need to manage the game a little bit better. We certainly pressed a lot higher second half and got more in Hamilton's faces, but like I said, sometimes if you wait that long in a game, it's going to be finished. We knew it was going to be difficult, but I just felt we let ourselves down a wee bit first 45.
Tell me a wee bit about that. You use the word timid. You'll be in that dressing room, you've gone through the week's preparation. These guys absolutely live to play football, and it's all about 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Yep. When they come up, I guess it's the kind of question for the ages that people like me put, and you see that kind of timidness. What do you put that down to, and is it only a case that you can really influence that with substitutes or waiting on the half time?
Yeah, I think on the sidelines, myself included, it's a very easy game, and you get a different view of everything, and you're willing players to go forward with the ball. When you're on the pitch, like I know, things can change mentally for you really quickly. You can hear a little bit of mumbling in the crowd. You can feel teammates. You can feel all eyes on you when you give the ball away, and it's very hard to block that out. I just felt at times, particularly when it was going like that, we were going back the way with the ball, taking our touch back, which again a little bit defensive, and not quite believing in ourselves as individuals and as a team. And I always say to the players, kind of the last thing I say to them is be positive in your play. 1v1s, 10v10, 11v11, whatever it is, be positive. If you lose the ball and you're positive and you're trying to make things happen, that's football. You're not going to get every pass successful. But I just felt we kind of went into playing the game as individuals. Let's look after ourselves more than anybody else. And it takes teamwork and work rate to win games. But when we did get close to Hamilton and when we did up the tempo a little bit in the second half, we showed that we're always going to be a threat. We've set the bar now in terms of the second half performance. That has to be the lowest bar that we get to if we want to be successful this season.
It's interesting that you speak about confidence, and it's maybe something that we supporters don't tune into, is that we see the quality of the players that you brought in. We see the quality of the lads that have stayed here throughout last season and has extended and so forth. But that confidence is brings to my mind something that you and Mickey and the team will be working on is building that as we move into the league campaign. A squad isn't just made up of talent, it's about personality and emotions as well.
Oh, absolutely. Personality is one of the key factors. You have to go and believe in yourself. I've seen it over the last 20 years, so many great training ground players who you look at and you play with and you play against sometimes when you think what good players they are, and it comes to game day and they just can't handle the whole build up, the whole occasion. They can't handle when things aren't going their way, or they can't handle when a mistake maybe costs a goal or 3 points or a point, whatever it may be. And it's about helping each other. It's about trying to get each other through those moments in games. We've got undoubted ability, there's no question about that. We know that. We look at the squad, but again, maybe we just got a wee bit ahead of ourselves, because we're missing 5 players today, 4 out of the 5. Obviously, because 2 of them are in the same position. Would start the game. When you take 4 players out any team, or 5 players, out any squad in this league, they're going to find it difficult. We found it difficult today. I was hoping players were going to step up to the mark a little bit and stake a real claim to be in the side, and unfortunately the first 45-60 minutes we didn't do it.
Tell us a wee bit about that lightness of the squad. Is there any information that you can pass across to supporters in terms of maybe where the guys are at, but what readiness they're going to have for next week?
In terms of injuries, there's nothing major to be honest. Obviously, we knew Lewis Vaughan was going to be out. He'll be back training Monday. We'll dip him in and out of the sessions this week, and we'll try and get him fully training towards the end of the week, and hopefully be involved next Saturday. Albeit we know he's not quite there yet in terms of sharpness. He's missed whole pre-season. He had a bit of time off. Paul Hanlon, we'll have to wait and see him. Paul, it's nothing big, but maybe this week, maybe not. That's one that's more a question mark than any of them. Sam Stanton's been ill, so there's not a lot we can do about that, so we have to try and recover him as quick as we can and get him back. Ewan Murray's the same. He pulled up on Thursday. It was just again a very, very light sort of spasm, so we're very hopeful he'll be back training with us at the start of the week. And I forget the other one. Scott Brown Bruni, of course, how can you forget? Again, he obviously came off last week with a little bit of a calf spasm as well. We were really, really hopeful that he was going to be okay. It's going to take a wee bit longer than we thought, but again, he's one that we want to get back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and get him ready for next Saturday. But we missed these guys today. There's no hiding from it. When you take out that quality drive and kind of hunger from any team, it's going to be hard. We found it hard. I knew it was going to be a tough game. Regardless, it's tough enough when you've got a full squad to pick from. But when you're depleted like we were today, it's doubly as hard.
So nothing to be overly worried about, but we've got to be mindful of the much bigger picture that lies ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. Nothing to be too worried about. We're always wanting the players back. Things can happen. Obviously, setbacks can happen, and our players can be quicker recovering than you actually think. Our main target, obviously, is league. We have to recognise we're disappointed. Of course, we are not to get through the group. A tough group, though. We knew it was going to be really, really tough, but we're disappointed not to get through. We have to take that one on the chin and look at our performances in the games where majority of them were actually okay, not brilliant, but they were okay. But it's hard. It's very, very difficult. We now get ready for Airdrie next week. We know they've had a really good League Cup campaign. They're a good side. We've had problems against them in the past, as everyone knows. But we go there full of confidence, ready to go and try and get the 3 points.
I was going to ask you about your final reflections across the group campaign, but I think you've probably answered that adequately there. You feeling ready to go? You feel that you've got a sense of what we're about, what our strongest 11 is, and where we can do some damage?
Yeah, I think when you look at our squad and everybody's fit, it's very, very difficult, and you're taking it off, a blank canvas type thing. But I think some players in this League Cup campaign have done better than others. Pretty confident of my strongest 11 as of right now. That can change obviously over days and over games and over weeks. But I trust every one of the players. Players are going to have dips in form. They're going to have bad games. They're going to have good games. That's why we build a squad that we've tried to build. We probably need to add a couple more. We know that, but the market's really slow at the moment. There's not a lot going about. It might speed up now that the League Cup's, the first sort of section's over with. And if the right player becomes available, we'll try to add. Be that in any position that makes us better.
We're looking forward to the hustle and bustle that lies ahead with many more conversations. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.